I really didn't want to know what I just watched. It was something that is now stuck in my head, even to this day. But let me introduce myself. My name is Roger, and I'm going to tell you something that traumatized me for life. I was at my local Target, searching for some VHS tapes, and I came across one. It was a poorly drawn picture of Ed from Ed and Eddy, written in black marker. But judging by the picture of it, it was an Ed and Eddy VHS tape. If you guys didn't know what Ed and Eddy is, Ed and Eddy is a cartoon created by AKA Studios and Cartoon Network. It was a memorable show. It was filled up with tons of nostalgia, with its slapstick humor and tons of likable characters like Ed, Double D, Eddy, Jimmy, Johnny, Rolf, etc., etc. It is a show that many grew up to with, even to this day, and I was one of them. But anyways, I took the VHS tape to the cash register as she says this.
Please don't watch this. I had my grandson watch it with me and we were both scared from it. Just please, whatever you do, don't watch it.
I was confused as to what she meant by that. I mean, it's an Ed and Eddy VHS tape. What's the worst that can happen? So when I got home, I took the VHS tape to my VHS player, thank God it still works, and I came across the menu screen, which shows Ed, Double D, and Eddy with the Ed and Eddy logo here, and the only option that shows up here is play. I clicked on it, and instead of just showing the intro like it usually does, instead gets to the title screen, called Ed's Hunger. It showed Ed with bloodshot eyes and with blood all over him. I was completely confused as to why it showed like that. But I ignored it and it continued onward. The episode began with Double D and Eddy arguing as they were walking down the cul-de-sac with a number of their scams that have failed. Double D then suggests that they should take a break from the scams and have some lunch. Also, their voices are not like the ones that they are from the show. It is instead like other actors that voiced both Double D and Eddy. Eddy sounds like he was Redbird from the Angry Birds movie, and Double D sounds like Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory. But moving on forward, it then cuts to Ed on the fence, standing up, looking emotionless. Double D then tells Ed that it was time for them to have some lunch. Ed then turns around as Eddy was telling Ed what should he have for lunch. There was a moment of silence. Then, something terrifying happened. Ed's eyes were slowly becoming bloodshot as he smiles, and he says this in a loud demonic voice.
I'm having you two for lunch.
This made my room shook up, and I was scared because of how loud it was. Both Double D and Eddy were confused as to what Ed meant by that. Ed then runs up to Double D and eats him. Blood was showing, but an actual realistic blood, and Double D was screaming like his voice actor was in actual pain and agony. Eddy was scared by this and was running away. Ed then chases him as they were running around the cul-de-sac. Eddy trips on the ground as Ed looks down at him. Eddy then looks up, seeing Ed, as he says this. Ed, why are you doing this to me? I thought we were friends! Ed then says this.
That ain't true, but I'm hungry, and you are perfect meal for lunch.
Suddenly, Ed grows sharp teeth as he eats Eddy off screen, as Eddy screams in pain and agony much like Double D, as the camera goes to black. The camera then cuts back on, showing Ed with now tons of blood all over him, as he says this.
For those of you that are watching this episode, You're next.
As the episode finally ended and cut back to the menu screen, I couldn't even believe my eyes of what I just witnessed. Ed was one of my favorite characters on the show besides Rolf, and he literally ate both his best friends Double D and Eddy. I then got the VHS tape out and smashed it with the hammer and lit it up on fire. I went on to IMDb about the episode, but no results. I then contacted Danny Antonucci about the episode, but he didn't know what I was talking about. I couldn't even sleep for about 2 nights. I was having nightmares about Ed chasing me and eating me up as a whole. If you guys ever come across a haunted VHS tape, then by all means, do not watch it. Destroy it by all means. But if you guys want to just take the risk, then good luck. And don't say I didn't warn you.